God damn it.
Damn it. Are we here? We're live?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. What's up,
Yeah.
dog? How you doing? Welcome.
Doing good.
Dead Man Talking Live, the Aftercast, Blaze Dead Homie, Jenny Madrox.
What up, motherfuckers?
You're having a better day. Not glitching over. I tell you, I've been glitching all day, glitching over on your broadcast. Now I'm glitching over here already because the weather is going crazy out. It's like overcast and fucked up. That's part of the reason. Part of the reason is because I live out in the middle of nowhere in cornfields. Like nothing surrounded by cornfields and craziness. So
it happens to the best of us. Don't think just because you live in the cornfields doesn't mean that us city folks don't get abducted all the same.
I'm telling you, it happens. Yeah, that's why I know. That's why everybody knows that you can get easily abducted from the cornfields just as easily as you can be abducted from the city and anywhere. So yeah, for real.
It's true. Just because y'all have prop signals does not mean that alien people do not fly over and just take your ass.
Right. And they thought like with the introduction of like the internet.
That they could do shit like that.
Now you know there's other people out there that are also just as crazy as you, right? or
yeah.
That's all.
God damn it. Fuck yeah. No, they control the horizontal and the vertical, man. You gotta be careful, dog. You just gotta be careful. I don't know what they got, dude.
Hell yeah. So we got a little bit of flavor, I guess. Once again, I was gonna kick this motherfucker off first. I was gonna ask you. I got some comic news. I wanted to start there if we can.
Well, do it. Absolutely. Hell yeah.
The little picture that I have here, topic 1. There it is. DC Kids Fandom. It's a global experience. It's supposed to be kicking off August 22nd at fandom.com. It's a specially created virtual world for fans to like explore locations and interact and shit. So like they got worlds and shit that you can go to if you got a kid, or it's for all ages. It's like for all ages style people, because that's what it says, kids of all ages, right?
So I have questions. You tell me when I can ask questions. I have questions.
Okay, well, I was going to kick it off and tell you first that I know that these are some of the places that you're going to be able to go and check out. And it says that this is for kids of all ages to celebrate, play, and create. So one of the ones I know for sure is Teen Titans Tower.
Dope.
The Superhero Girls Sweet Justice Cafe.
Okay. And
your favorite, I'm sure, the Batcave.
Yes.
So I'm like, what do you think, man? It's happened off August 22nd. So
my first initial
get and check it out. If you're interested, go to DC Fandom or DC and check out. Yes, they already have a trailer already. I have a trailer, and I don't have the fucking information and the damn technology to get you the goddamn trailer. But I'm just showing you.
I was going to say that I think my first initial thoughts on it was that it came off kind of like a Minecrafty, so to speak.
Yeah.
Meaning like it might be like a more simpleton 8-bit version of their characters. That was my question. Was I noticed it says DC Kids, but there's just like some random gnome in the corner, not necessarily a namesake like Robin or Starfire or Supergirl or someone we all know and love and be like, hey, we could relate. I don't know the gnome character, so like it makes me wonder. That was my question. Is it, you say DC, but are we going to see like, Bat Hound at least? Who am I? Show me what I'm going to get here.
I'm really, like I said, I think we need to delve deeper into it and get the way to figure out how to get the trailer.
I'm with it. I like it.
Like I said, I think it's really like what I'm understanding is that
I like it because
on a computer or whatever, you log on and you can be like a Facebook type thing, but you can go there and it's going to be, for everything DC, like the cartoons there and stuff like that. So obviously you probably go in there and you can go to visit Teen Titan Tower, and then you can go to the rooms that they would go to, and then maybe you go talk to Beast Boy and or Robin or anybody, you know what I mean? Like any one of the characters there. And I think that's kind of what it ends up being. But it's like, I think it all depends on how open that world is when it's like that. You know what I mean?
I think it's cool that they're taking the time to try to connect with a potential younger audience, younger readers, to reestablish a lot of their mainstays or staple characters, like, you know, just to secure that. Don't be presumptuous that these kids are just going to grow up and love Batman and Superman. There's a reason that we do. There's a reason we do, is because we were, you know, kids of that era. But now with so many new fun things at their fingertips on cell phones and apps and shit like that, the comic book can become very obsolete. Even provided in a digital format, it can still be obsolete because it's just not important, which is unfortunate. So this shit like this is to me, I see is kind of a good idea. It's an attempt to get at a younger age demographic. So using that, like, we have these amazing characters that can do all of that. So I appreciate that. That's them trying to I don't know, maybe get a new audience and try to be modern.
Yeah.
And fandom, a beautiful play on dome, like meaning a dome covered world, but at like a snow globe.
Yeah.
And at the same time, fandom, meaning like it's all things fan. I like it. I like what I see so far. Hopefully they don't do me wrong.
Yeah, I really think gonna be interesting. It leaves you looking at this picture from what I was given the same. So I look at this picture, I'm like, yes, that's what I see. A little gnome, and I'm like, who is that? But
right. At first instinct, you're like, you know, I see some shapely trees, but front and center is that iconic DC stamp. So you know, but the kids writing kind of comes off as like Wendy's kids meal. So, you know, like, it wouldn't surprise me if this was some kind of a teaser ad that got taken out of a Wendy's ad. No, I'm just kidding. For like a new DC a DC Happy Meal, like a 6-piece chicken nugget and a Wonder Woman toy or something. Like, I don't fucking know. But I'm interested.
We love what you did with this here. We're just gonna use it for something completely different. We have this
No, because
global experience we want to kick off to the entire fan base.
Right.
Scream DC
because up to that point,
it right here, because no two perfectly shaped trees.
Yes. Well, no, because up to that point, that's pretty much, that's not only, but that can be one of the 5 ways that DC will come in contact with the potential new fan, will be by, you know, you get a rando toy in every Happy Meal, whether you get it at Burger King or McDonald's or Wendy's or wherever. And if DC locks down any of these, we've seen them. They're some of the coolest. DC and Marvel, we'll give y'all props too. Marvel, we love you too. But DC and Marvel have had some really cool Happy Meal toys that have kind of like, again, put people onto. Like, you know, I remember getting that Happy Meal toy, and from that day, I always loved The Thing, Ben Grimm, and just, you know, keep going on. It's like that kind of shit. It resonates with people. So, however, you know, it's a dope little jump in point for the youngins.
Like, I think I take this, like I said, like a new people to go into and check out. Like, you can go, like, they have obviously they have like a Disney their own app, and like a, you know, Nickelodeon has their app and stuff like that, but I think this is more an in-depth experience into some of their cartoons and their fans and the different stuff they have for their fans. And, you know, I thought that was kind of cool. So I was like, I think I'm very interested. I want to see more. And yeah, if we can get the video next time, we'll try to play that, and maybe we'll go into that. Maybe we'll go into depth a little further. Figure out what.
Okay, I'm with that. I'd be interested to see more.
All right.
Absolutely.
And some random news, I was getting some. I caught some movie news, and I seen this. Did you see that they have in the works a remake for the one and only The Howling, and it's coming in 2020. And I believe it's the Andy Musch. I'm gonna fuck his name up, Muschietti. So I'm gonna fuck it all up. He's a director of it.
It happens. So he's the new director signed on. You're saying this is Netflix?
Yes. Taking care of this. So I was wondering, what do you think about this? Because there's a lot of remakes coming out, and that's what I was thinking about, like asking your opinion on some of these remakes. This is the first one. might be interested. What do you think, man? Because I'm interested. I'm definitely going to take a look at it because I want to see his take. You know what they have done to werewolves over the past a little, you know, they've changed the lore a lot when they went to Underworld and the Rise of the Lycans and stuff like that. And they also changed it up when they went to stuff like Twilight. You know what I mean? Like things like that.
Right.
Justified and things of that nature. They did a little different when they did stuff in True Blood. So it's like I want to see more gory, more scary werewolf, I guess. And that's kind of what I think gonna attempt is gonna be. What do you think?
Right. I don't think werewolves get enough love.
Right.
There's always been focus on vampires. I think it's safe. I think it's a safe choice to pick an established something, even if it is just a title, the moniker, the Howling. It resonates with people who know of the movies because there's a bunch of them, and they start really good and then they get a little weird as they go, but nevertheless, there's a following. So like to take that name and that's, I guess my third question is how much of the premise are they following, or are they just using the Howling as a blanket title to basically push over the new werewolf endeavor? And it could literally be anything. Start story from boom right now. Or are they going to try to say, you know, pull this is the descendant of the 1982 movie, and it's like, well, then that's different. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I guess I'd have to find out more about the plot line. Regardless, I think it's great. I'd give it a chance. I'd watch it. It sounds interesting.
That's what I.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
All right,
I just want to know who's attached to it.
What do y'all think? Howling remake, something more gory, more scary, more, you know. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking a little more scary.
Another one. It's obviously in an related topic, but I thought it was cool how when they I want to say, believe it or not, I want to say there was MTV, strangely enough, in a strange turn of events, MTV took Teen Wolf, the tongue-in-cheek Michael J. Fox camp, funny, silly, make 'em up movie about a zany werewolf who can dunk a ball and just, you know, all this bullshit. Right. And it's like, but they took that
2 inches and back.
But they took that.
And then goes back and finds out he's actually attracted to the not so hot bitch.
But they took that and fucking took all of the camp away from it and made it like this real kind of like gritty pack of dudes, and they're in high school, and it was like they took a vastly different approach but kept that Teen Wolf title, that moniker. So that's what I'm wondering here, where we need to ask the questions, are they going to do the same thing with this, or are they going to invert it and take what was a blood-curdling werewolf horror vibe and flip it into a tongue-in-cheek up Schitt's Creek type of vibe where, you know, playful horror or silly, you know. So I don't know. It's interesting to see. I guess we'll have to see. But to say that I watched it, yeah.
Okay, well, obviously when we watched it, you get a certain idea what that is because we watched it, and you understand that was like, it was mostly based, it was pretty much true to the comic book, or to the books, I'm sorry, to Stephen King's books.
Right.
So this one, I believe that he might maybe stay true, but I think, you know, more to do a little more what he likes to do, because this is, you know, I said this, that series. So yeah, it just
the difference is this going to be a series on Netflix, or are we talking a straight to Netflix movie?
That's what I really want to know. I want to know what they're gonna because I'm not fully sure yet on that.
All right, just you know that something new is happening with the Howling, and fair enough. All right, and it's Netflix bound. Yes. I'm wondering because something like that could be fun and playful if you take, again, like an intellectual property that people know about, and then you break it down and make it a season or episode, you know, episodic.
Yeah,
make it into something.
I mean, I think you can make it even better doing that, obviously, because you can break it down, and you could build up characters as you go along and still scare them throughout the season with just without having to show.
Because and it's like, yeah, the original movie, although I've probably seen it several times, truth be told, is not that very memorable enough. Only thing that's really memorable is at the end, the news anchor lady. Spoiler. Is whatever. So yeah, there's a memorable part to it, but as far as it being a storyline or other than that werewolves exist, it's not like it was Silver Bullet or nothing where it's like, oh my god, like there wasn't that cliffhanger portion that Stephen King punched. This is just kind of another
right.
But again, definitely groundwork that you can make something out of it. You can make a lot out of that. So that would be interesting to see which direction they take and whether or not they make it into a season as opposed to a straight remake, and if they stick to the original or if they're just gonna run with the title and make it all anew.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Well, interesting. All right. Well, I said that's supposed to be in the pipeline. I've seen people say they haven't heard much about it. I get it. Yeah, there's a couple. They haven't talked much about this. I'm just reading the remakes. That's why I thought it would be interesting. Okay, let's go to, how about Hellraiser? The next movie here I have is Hellraiser. They are talking about it's the same type of stuff. They're talking about an HBO, and I don't know if it's the same thing. I don't know if it's going to be a movie or they're working on a series because it's not that far along yet. But they do have the guy that's penning the script, and that is David S. Goyer, and that's The Dark Knight. Remember he did that, so yeah, it might be interesting to see that. What do you think about that? Do you think that is it going to stay true as well? And because I've heard it's going to be more direct, staying true to the actual to the first movie, and or the books that they were written off of, or made off, creative, whatever. So what do you think? What are your ideas, thoughts?
I think that with like shit like this, meaning like when it's character driven, like a Freddy Krueger, like a Pinhead per se, people who talk, characters who talk, it's kind of like the blessing and the curse in disguise. The blessing is that it's a great entity of a project, but if you don't get somebody who can sell that character, because they tried to redo it with Freddy. They tried to go outside the box, and the guy that they picked was Rorschach, and he was good. Just people don't give him a chance because it's got to be the way that they want it. So they kind of slept on his performance, and it was all for naught. Same deal with this when it wasn't Doug Bradley, and they made those horrible. Whoever approved that asshole looking like that should be fired. Like, Jesus Christ, whose job? Who is running the butt? Like, who is on this movie? So yeah, that shit should never happen, especially with these kind of characters, especially like if Clive Barker's attached to it and he's sitting in the chair and he's like, "Hey, everyone was great." Like, sir, you want to open your eyes in this next one? So that's important. That shit is all important. So could it be everything? Yeah. And will it be everything? Possibly. But it all depends on if they're going to go with Pinhead. They get somebody who has that demeanor, who's got that kind of a slick, because that's the way Pinhead is. He's kind of devilish in his way,
The whole, like I said, the movie, it's tough because the first movie and the second movie, I guess, were probably the two that were most close in the connection with what the storyline of what the books were doing, I guess. But in all honesty, when I watched them, it was visually the cooler thing. Now, obviously, Pinhead, he was the shit because he was scary, but he was visually. It was all the visuals that were the scariest shit about it. Like, some of the stuff was jumbled where I didn't understand what was going on. Like, Frank re-emerging from
those are the kind of things that they could flesh out in the series.
Well, right, but I've read back into plots and actually seen what it and what it means.
For sure.
I mean, so now to me, so I'm like, oh, okay. So then the movie made more sense. So
it's there. It's always been there in the material. It's just not as straightforward as any other material.
Right, and it's hard for them to explain if you're not.
That Frank comes back from hell and he's been waiting in hell, and just that he can be brought back because of, But what's also fun and interesting is the fact that the Cenobites come from this otherly realm where those are stories for days. Like you could even pull a Friday the 13th. For those who remember, there was a series that had nothing to do with Jason. It was about an antiquity place that had cursed artifacts, and the go-getters would try to find the artifacts and bring them and secure them in like this Ed and Lorraine Warren blessed cellar. Yeah, great. But yeah, to be honest, it's like, wait, what? It's just it's one of those things where it's like, you know, you can do a lot of different shit with it. It's just what's the right thing to do. I think you could even pull a Freddy's Nightmares and literally have a guy who could be just pay Doug Bradley, have him come in and set up the story. In this story, we will see. And you're like, oh, fuck. And, you know, it's shooting the chains here and again. Go into a puzzle box and take me into a fucking side caveat story. As long as it's good, well written, I'll stay. I'll stay for the ride. Keep showing them to me. They can all be parts of the box. All stories from within. So there's a lot to build. There's building blocks for days. It's just whether or not they're going to use it to their advantage and do fan service, or if they're going to try to take some bold, erratic move that some new guy thinks is going to be the way. We'll see. Those are the kind of split decisions that really make this kind of shit. So
it really is. That's what it, you know.
Sure.
Speaking of Fred, I didn't have any pictures of him, but you know, Nightmare on Elm Street. I've seen some stuff. They were talking about that. There's some rumors floating around of a new Freddy and some ideas. And then I went back and started delving in to see exactly how true these were. And I started reading up on some of the stuff that like Robert Englund was talking about, and one of his last interviews about some of this stuff. And it was from a little while back, but it was very interesting. And some of the stories that they were thinking about going and delving into for Freddy, and he had 3 that he named, and there was 2 of them that I really thought were very interesting, just him, you know, kicking idea wise. So I'm like, man, stories are out there, but it all depends. It's the same thing. It's trying to get an actor to play that character. Robert, people are never going to not see him as Freddy, so they're like, he can't do it. Well, he's 73 years old. He's already said, I don't want to act as Freddy anymore, but I will.
He's been saying for years now that he has one more nightmare in him. He has one more performance of Freddy left in him. I'll agree with you. He probably shouldn't do it, and he should just end it on the big note that it is. Although I, as a fan who believe he should do it, would also take someone he chose. Give him the responsibility of casting this legacy role. Have him pass the torch to the next actor.
I think that would be a lot better, because it would sign off on the character.
It would make a lot of people happy. It would make a transition, you know.
Some of the stuff he was talking about was very interesting. Yeah, Mike, thank you for he was telling me, yes, he had a prequel approach that he was talking about, for a Nightmare prequel approach, which it was sounding very cool. And then another approach he had talked about, because when he went to this prequel, he said, well, let's never remake the first, you know, Nightmare on Elm Street, but we could possibly we just keep it 2 as it is, actually delve to it a different way, because nowadays people might accept the way what they were really trying to tell, that story that me and you have said. Like, every time you watch it, you're like, whoa, this is really crazy. It's kind of homoerotic and everything. And it's like, well, it was ahead of its time for a
episode 2 or part 2 of Friday the 13th.
No, of Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2. Yeah.
Crazy. So he was talking about some different things on that, and he was talking animated series, and it was very interesting, bro. It's like, yeah, anybody got a chance, check out that interview from him.
I think that's a great choice, to be honest with you. I think that's the superior choice of all of them, would to be to do an animated of Nightmare on Elm Street, a Freddy story, if you will, and let Mr. Englund voice it, because he probably has, if he voices it, he might have another 3 movies in him. And as rather than to do physical, you know, him trying to show out, absolutely. The Springwood slasher movie could be a movie. It's just, going there with the kind of, like a Todd McFarlane Spawn dark animation. You could clearly pull off a Springwood. It could be called that, the Springwood slasher. And everybody who knows Freddy would know exactly what that is. And everybody who don't would be like, holy fuck, this is Freddy Krueger. Like, duh. Like that would be great. And that's how you could reel in a whole bunch of new people. And it really wouldn't have to be Robert Englund physically putting his body on the line to try to show out and impress everybody, because he can jump from this thing to this thing and turn around and go, you know, like he can still do that and not move. You get what I'm saying? It's like, I think that way. I think that way, right? Yeah, bitch. You know, I think that way we're sure to get another 3 nightmares out of yeah, man. I think so. That, to me, I think that would be the best way. But I would tolerate possibly, but no, I don't know. An animation would be great. An animation would be top shelf. But if he picked someone, or he was somewhere and said, I found the new Freddy, here he is, or I'm going to show you, or Robert Englund is directing the new, and it's just called Freddy. And wow, you know, like, I don't know. I'm that kind of, you could find some interest in any one of those angles as well. I would be into that shit too. So it's interesting.
For sure. All right. Oh, next picture here. I seen the next thing I was checking out is that Hellraiser. I'm sorry. Here it is. Hellraiser. Is that it? Yes. No, this is it.
Highlander.
Highlander. Yes, your favorite Highlander.
The Highlander.
Say it the right way.
A very major cult following, has been for forever, as far as my mind can remember. Don't know why. Maybe because of its brush with Sean Connery. I can't really pinpoint it. I don't know why. I've heard people talk bad about it.
Isn't it kind of like time travel, or this? I think the story is kind of like it's immortality, maybe.
Yes. They don't age.
Immortality, I believe. Yes. Okay.
I believe it's both of those things. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it's both of those things. It is about immortality, meaning like, so if they choose to not time travel, they can just live through all of the ages and the times, and, you know, go from the horse and carriages to now, you know, floating around in the hoverboards and shit. But there's people that go back into time or into the future to fight them. Yes. I don't know why. Again, I hear everybody always says very poorly acted. People say, you know, like, who am I to judge? I don't fucking know.
What I hear over here is that in the talks, they're in their stages of it here, and it's Chad Stahelski. I'm probably butchering his name. He's John Wick filmmaker. He's attached to it.
Okay.
So it's, you know, he's done John Wick. This is his first foray outside of that type of stuff. And they said that he has worked on plenty of movies, either as like a stunt coordinator or as help in some of the stuff for superhero movies. But he never he's never done anything with superheroes.
Well,
but he wants, this is what he's thinking about working on, this type of idea. So I'm like, I don't, you know.
When you say John Wick, guy attached to John Wick,
yes,
I immediately, my thoughts immediately go to looking at the property. I immediately think of these intricate battle scenes, these sword fights, and the camera angles, and cling clang, and all these different sparks and shit shining, because John Wick was a lot about that. You know, how cool, like Steven Seagal back in the days when we were kids, the number of hits to the knee, ankle, face, like all of these routine Daredevil fight sequences, kind of a thing that would make someone like me, who just said, I'm not really a Highlander kind of guy, look at the trailer and be like, this Highlander shit is badass, because that's what they're gonna have to do to make new people come back, and the old ones be like, I always did like that. Like, no, you didn't. You used to hate on it. That's how you know they did their goddamn job. Right. Agree that it's fresh. Like, all right, it's fresh. Goddamn right. No, and if they do that, then kudos to them for that. But I think that's probably why whoever owns that was probably like, we need to get a visionary guy, or someone who has very good like action sequence telling. You know what I mean? Like an artist would storyboard it, but something about those, you know. Even Daredevil, bro, the same thing, coming down, every punch you've seen, you felt it as a viewer. That kind of shit resonated with an entire people. So I think if they focus on that, you might be able to save Highlander.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
It is.
Well,
It is.
there's wild shit, and some people have said it on here. It's like, yeah, in Highlander for sure, there can be only one. Everybody knows that, and you do gotta chop the other Highlander's head off.
And that's where
power of the other Highlander when you do chop their motherfucking head home, yo.
See, Highlander is about the swordsmanship.
There you go.
Again, that's what I'm saying. You're going to get great epic sword battles. Like what I would assume I would want to see from He-Man and Skeletor. Mind you, it'll be a Highlander versus Highlander, but that same intensity, that same epicness, it's gotta. If they tell it like that and show it like that, it could float. People would accept it.
I mean, the good thing about stuff like that, like even for John Wick, is that Keanu Reeves, he does know some sort of martial arts.
For sure, for sure.
It works for the type of character. They're gonna have to cast somebody that can do that.
Oh yeah, and that's no discredit to the actors of those movies. I said too, because those are all physical roles and actually require motherfuckers. I'm just saying the fact that they're physically performing those actions. It's the director who's looking and capturing the portion of it in real time of what he wants you to see. So that's why they're both working together to get the end effect. So again, no discredit to the actors themselves. They are very fucking athletic for pulling that shit off. So this guy's going to have to be too. This Highlander will have to be too.
Highlander.
You got to be able to jump from that rock to that board and go, ha!
Right, for sure.
Yeah, for real. I want to see some action. So show me some cool shit. So yeah, that's how you're going to keep the attention of I think
that's
today.
It, for real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. How about let's get to the last one here. This one is what I'm sure you're looking forward to.
Oh, jeez.
That's the original here. That's from the Cannonball Run, just like the other ones are all originals too. This one, they're talking about it. I don't know if it's really going to happen. It's been in the works for a couple years here now. They've been thinking about bringing this movie to life, and I don't know if I don't know if it was such a huge hit, but it's the 81 classic. It's about our illegal race from one point to another point, and everybody joins, and there was a lot of cool cars, I believe. And
back in the days, this was a big cameo movie too. Everybody played some, cameo parts. I want to say
played two of them, so obviously it gave.
Well, the reason I could see it getting any kind of attention. No, I was gonna say the only thing I could see it reason it getting any attention can only be because movies like Fast and the Furious have made so much money. So that revenue that's generated from those kind of action movies, automatically you're talking about a bunch of vehicles across the world. Of course, it's got to be, all these cool tire shots and squats and pictures of Vin Diesel erratically for no fucking reason, give the people what they want.
I mean, no, you'd have to. You have to like it. You'd have to either have to go full in like you're talking about, like go Fast and Furious style, or you have to go full in like Will Ferrell and everybody in that caliber.
Oh yeah, no, I feel that. I feel that with something like this
one, like it's so funny that you laugh because so much hijinks are happening. Because tried to do in that, but in that it was kind of. It was there. It wasn't. You didn't really. Some of it wasn't very relatable. You're like, who gives a fuck?
For sure. No, I feel that much like how people have mixed horror and comedy together. I feel like if you were to mix that that Fast and the Furious, so to speak, with a comedy vibe, so to speak, and you keep that high intensity, driving and erratic music going, but there's comedians driving the cars. I could buy that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like that could be, and you star-stud it with all of the who's who in comedy. Sure.
Yeah, you have to bring everybody from like, if you're doing, like This Is the End style movie.
And think about it. Like,
you're getting if you get Seth Rogen and everybody that he comes and his whole crew, they could all be, you know what I mean? And then you throw everybody from old school.
100%.
you would have a fucking huge ass hit probably that would.
Agreed. And that's the thing. And it's like maybe that's what's taking so long. Maybe that's what's taking so long, securing everybody's signature or trying to get everybody to agree on, you know, something or whatever. Like, who knows? Like, how cool would it be if, you know, Fluffy was driving one of the cars and it's like, you know, the motherfucker with the puppet, you know what I mean? And it's just like, it's all of these new generation of people that are out there doing comedy and they're just in this star-studded movie that's erratic and fast-paced. It could work. It could work.
Yeah. So I thought it was kind of interesting. I was like, it's weird. It's, you know, one of them weird ones that popped up. I was like, wow, it's crazy shit.
No, absolutely. That could be really fucking cool.
The next thing I wanted to talk about was it's 20th Century Fox. I don't know if you've seen this. That Disney has obviously, since they own them, they have ended 20th Century Fox. And they will now be known as 20th TV or 20th Television. They're just
really?
Century and Fox off their name. And television, and now they're 20.
Interesting.
So the longest running brands of like movie shit and TV stuff, you know, we've seen this probably, how long have we seen this growing up? You know, coming on
and that's what I was gonna say. That's a weird. It's
shit, man, crazy.
It's a weird it's a weird like two-sided coin, because in one side of the coin you have people that try to work so diligently to get that kind of time established in something. That kind of, you know, like that logo commands, you know, greatness. There's movies that have been put out on 20th Century Fox that have brought back revenue to that company, and people who are just starting out, you know, they're like, man, if we only had an established company behind us, like 20, you know what I mean? It's like, and then when you have that, and then you're telling me this erratic, I'm just going to take that and completely change it. It's cool. Because the other side of that coin is through progress and change could come, you know, more legacy for the company, that's great too. But I don't know, that first side of the coin seems a little heavier to me when it's like, you know, how many people are going to get behind 20th TV? Unless you're telling me that's where all the 20th century movies are going to go die. They're gonna go die on 20th TV, and I can watch them all any time of the day.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm assuming that's what it is. Rebranding, or they're changing they said basically they're ending the brand. So the brand is dying. They're going to change.
He said they made him a channel to go die on. Go die on your channel.
You're done. You're done.
Gee.
Yeah.
Thanks, 20th TV.
Call them off.
They said, they were like, and tonight's Tombstone playlist is. Like, Jesus Christ, you're just naming off all the big 20th Century Fox hits. Like, isn't Jaws one of those or something? I can't imagine how many times I've seen that. That's that. They'll fucking, yeah, man. That shit is huge.
Yeah,
huge.
Yeah, it's just a change. It's just showing a change in the shit. Like
the stable of movies, that channel, if that in fact is what 20th TV is going to become, which is a random station like how the WWE 24/7 was, where it's like just a random hub for all wrestling all the time. Like if that is what this end game is for 20th TV, is to be this 20th Century Fox exclusive loop, and they play all of the greats, and there's some sort of a, you know, TV format where you can, you know, I'm going to lock that in on my DVR. I don't want to miss that one. That was my favorite, you know, or whatever the fuck. Because I'm sure there are going to be a bunch of your favorites, because when you really, that's what we should do on another episode, is like go through and try to find out how many 20th Century Fox movies really resonated with our generation or the generation currently, just to see how many of them actually are there. Is it 5? Is it 20? Because I'm thinking it's closer. I'm thinking it's like 10 or 12 movies that are everybody's gonna be like, God damn, that's my shit. I can't believe that. You know, like, you'd be surprised. So that's interesting. I guess we'll have to see if that is really in fact gonna be a channel.
Yeah, that's pretty wild, man. All right, well, let's move on to the next story here. Rocksteady Games, August 22nd. I don't know, they tweeted this out. And Rocksteady Games, that's Rocksteady, that's their studios. Rocksteady Studios, I think is their Twitter's handle and shit. But they tweeted this out. I don't know if you see, it's a Suicide Squad game, right? Mm-hmm. Can you tell who that is from the picture right here?
It at first glance, I didn't notice it, but now looking at it a bit better, it's Superman. It's clearly Superman.
Now, this was also noticed by everybody on here, but then people started looking at it and they're really close and they're like Superman, Suicide Squad, and they started putting 2 and 2 together. Now I also started thinking about that and like, well, why would they put him on there? Then you start thinking about it, who else kind of looks like Superman but might be not Superman?
Not Superman.
Bizarro.
That's not
Bizarro.
Bizarro. That ain't the freaking Christmas star, Grizz.
Right now, rumor out there is that is Bizarro on the cover of the Suicide Squad's first tweet out. They're talking about Rocksteady Games, talking about sending this out. This is their first one, and they're thinking that might be Bizarro as opposed to Superman, and there would make sense then being maybe is he a member of the Suicide Squad?
Not to my knowledge, but then again,
so this would make sense though that he could possibly become one. This is a new game they're putting together, so
my knowledge is a small dusty bookshelf that I don't visit very often. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, I hate everything. Yeah, no, I don't get Bizarro vibes. I get Superman vibes, and I get I also get like a
is the F girl in a Z.
I get this like if I'm not mistaken, wasn't it Amanda Waller?
Yeah, I believe Amanda Waller, I think her name. Yes.
Okay, yeah, and she's the one who pretty much runs the show, and she's like, you guys are like the fucking A team. You go in there and get it done. You are expendable, so we don't give a shit, you know. And I remember the original one was very Escape from New York. Like all of you have explosives implanted in you. Try to get fresh and fucking it's donezo, which kind of added another layer to the story, which made it a little more memorable. So like, which could be why I'm reaching, and I'm really reaching on this, but this could be, since it's a video game, maybe it's some sort of, it's a test. Kill Superman.
I think
show me you can do it. Show me you can kill him.
I think you're on either, like, there you go, Strangler.
They're saying super.
I think Strangler might be onto some Suicide Squad versus Superman. I think it might be that. It's a possibility.
You know what I mean? Like your goal in the game or whatever. You know what I mean? And then you find out, I'm sure during the game, because they're clever in how they lay them out, I'm sure there'll be a portion where, you know, they tell you, you know, congratulations, or you successfully killed a replica of you know, Kal-El or whatever, you know what I mean? And like take you into some beautiful storyline that's enriched with a whole new level of the game. And now you're after someone else. And you're starting to talk amongst the other members in the Suicide Squad and be like, why are we being trained to kill these guys? Like it could make for a great fucking game. It could make for a great fucking story, but it could make for a really fun game.
All right. I see Tim came in, said there was a Superman cartoon where they unleashed the devil to fight like the Doomsday guy, and it had Suicide Squad in it. And it also had Constantine. So yeah, okay, that makes sense. Maybe there is.
It just didn't make sense. The part about it being Bizarro doesn't really make sense as much as Superman doesn't make sense. So in that same regard, it just seems even less sense that it would be Bizarro rather than Superman.
When I looked at it, like I was trying to make the connection. That was the only thing I could think of, because I've seen people talk about it.
Good enough. But you could be.
Can you zoom into the eyes and see? Because if you could see there, you would tell then, because isn't it back like Bizarro would have, in a sense, Bizarro would probably have he has freeze vision and heat breath. It's something like that. Freeze vision and heat breath.
I mean,
he's backwards. Everything's backwards type shit.
Yeah, but he would also have like some sort of signifiable bluish tone to him, or this gray, cold, like stone like tone.
Maybe something.
And also if you look at it, the way that Suicide Squad is written is very similar to the Crosshairs, meaning that guy is the target. So that's where I go back to my first initial, you know, like maybe they're hunting Superman, but I entertained your idea only by saying you could be onto something if Bizarro was to join. I don't know why he would, but that I could get down with that. That could make the most sense if he was part of the team. then maybe, but it just doesn't add up to me. Hunting Superman doesn't add up to me either, but it makes for a wild game.
A great story or a great game. Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, for sure. I can only imagine, you know what I mean? Because he's like one of the strongest superheroes in the world. How are you going to, even if you're a team, like what's the strategy? So that might be there in the game, the strategy of how you're going to go about, you know, that could be dope. It could be really cool.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm with it.
True. All right. Well, the other things I had here before we get up out of here, I was thinking about kicking off some this or that. First, we have one from Instagram. Ravens Sky Inc. wants to know Sub-Zero or Mr.
It's got to be Mr. Freeze. Victor Freeze.
You're gonna say Victor?
Yep. I thought that's what you said. It was who was it? It was Sub-Zero?
Sub-Zero or Mr. Freeze?
I mean, legitimately, I have to go with Mr. Freeze because I have more attachment to the character. But Sub-Zero is the shit. Don't sell Sub-Zero short. Sub-Zero's a dope ass character.
Yeah.
But if I must pick, I'm picking Mr. Freeze.
I'm saying it's tough to say because it's tough. It would be very tough to pick because Mr. Freeze is obviously he has weapons, right? Correct?
Absolutely.
Do what he's doing. And
he has a freeze gun. He goes, freeze.
But
just really cool one-liners like, just chill.
Just chill.
Over. You gotta love it. It's great. It's cinema gold. But yeah, no, that I gotta pick him anyway. Not for that zany incarnation of him, but because of the animated series. Those renditions of that character are really good.
Doesn't Sub-Zero conjure though fucking ice and throw it at people and whatnot? Like he conjures.
He does. He has a very X-Men like talent.
So I don't know.
But in the 66 Batman show, Mr. Freeze had a fucking cool path and a hot path for Batman so he could go sit down at the table.
But
that was neat.
Sub-Zero doesn't just conjure this ice, he also kicks ass with some sort of Tai Chi or some great.
He does.
Right?
He does. It is not a battle of who will win, it's who will I pick, and I picked Victor Freeze. Yeah. No, seriously, because clearly Sub-Zero would probably win between the two of them, but Victor Freeze is cooler to me because of my time spent with him in the animated Batman series. That's why.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. Okay.
Fuck yeah. He was like, but he's so badass. I'm like, God damn it, I'm not arguing the fact he is fucking badass. He will kill you.
Fuck yeah.
It fucking icicles out of your. That shit is dope.
Fucking great.
I love it.
All right. Well, let's go to the last couple of them.
He said, well, there's that.
This is great. All right.
Fucking great.
All right. Let's go to a couple more of this or that before we get up out of here. How about platforms, Spotify or Pandora? What do you think? Either Google Music. What do you think? Anything? Throw what you like.
To be honest with you, I fuck with a lot of YouTube because I'm a very simplistic kind of person. Like I don't really know. Like I know that I also have I think I have a Google Play. I think on my phone as well, which allows me to type in what I want to hear and I get to hear it one time and then it's a bunch of other shit that I don't want to hear. So that becomes a problem, which why I like YouTube a little bit better so that I can triangulate in exactly what I'm looking for. But that wasn't my option. So I guess I guess Spotify is the more cooler answer. That's what the cool kids do.
I think I started fucking with first I started fucking with Pandora way back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized like I like kind of some of their channels because that was kind of giving you some, like freedom to where you're okay. I don't really want to pick the song and figure out what I want to hear, but then
the shuffle option is awesome.
But it got to the same thing you were talking about at a point where you were like, I'm tired of hearing this song that I don't give a shit to hear about right now. So let me just get some up. Spotify, and I started like fully like adding.
For sure. Building the library, which is awesome.
And then so after you start doing that, then you start getting like what you want, and then so you can't.
It's okay to recirculate your songs that you like rather than. Because the problem is,
but I find myself like going. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say the problem is, to me, is that, you know, like when you do, like, there's nothing wrong with you know, putting on the what you like, and then here's something that's like it, and here's something that's like it. But when you get to that fourth or fifth outer ring of what they're reaching, and it's like, this is nothing like anything that I was trying to listen to. This is I gotta get up and go and put something else back in. And it's like, if I'm gonna do that, I'm just gonna type in directly what I want to hear and just go from there. Hit full record, play it, you know, whatever, however. So so that's cool. So, but I mean, but any and all, whichever one you perform, however you get your music, as long as you get your music.
All right. Okay. How about we go to let's go to cable or satellite? What's your favorite?
Cable or satellite? Truth be told, both suck. Because it's just a bunch of channels of garbage that I never watch. I don't know. I haven't had any interest in any ongoing show or anything like that in a good while. I used to watch a lot of the Tattooed Inked, I believe it was, with the dude from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Dave Navarro or whatever his name is. It's a pretty cool dude. But yeah, you know, was into shit like that, Face Off, a couple seasons of shit like that. But then it just kind of, you know, after a while, I was like, it lost its luster. I'm waiting for it to make that return, like Apple Jacks. We talked about that every 7 years. Your taste buds change and all that. I'm waiting for Ghost Hunter to come kicking back in. I remember we used to watch that. What the frick was that, dude? Holy frick!
Tell me, bro. Holy shit!
No, holy shit! It was always holy. Dude, don't swear. Holy frick, dude! That was a bunch of S. Oh God, I love it. What the S?
What, Tommy? What?
Dude, run!
Fucking crazy.
I love it, but we love that, and that was all. That was everything. That was everything. Those kind of shows took us to Paranormal State and all kinds of fun shit. So it was a fun road of entertainment nonetheless. And it's just it's all that kind of entertainment and whatever you consume. So I don't know. I say cable because that's what I have. So I guess I'll go with what I have. I'll keep it real. I don't have it, you know.
Right now, I'm going to tell you, like, I have satellite and I hate it because every time it rains or snows, it ends up becoming like a fucking end of the day for the broadcast. Sure. So sometimes you could actually have something that you really want to see. You're recording it. It's all set up. You're not there. It starts raining. Your shit's fucked. It doesn't come back on again. You fucked up. Now you can't get it until maybe.
See, that sucks. Yeah, I don't know. That's it. I was about to say, you need to get you a TiVo out there or something.
Tell him some shit.
Tell him. Direct TV is some shit, like, goddamn. But no, that
Direct TV is more bullshit, bro. That's what it is. It's straight satellite, and it's the same shit. But I've had the same problem, no matter if it was cable or satellite. Like, I've had the same type of shit happen, but it seems to happen. And it doesn't. It's like it doesn't matter if you have a satellite. It starts raining or snowing. You're most likely bound to get a little bit of fucking just interference. So
yeah.
I've happened to know
what was supposed to be.
You know about the CW network?
Do I know about it?
You know about the CW network, correct?
Yeah.
Everybody knows about it. Well, the CW network, no matter if it is satellite or cable around my neighborhood, fucking sucks. They play, and every time it'll sometimes you'll play with no sound, sometimes it'll play with a crack.
That sucks because that was like the main content for most of the DC Universe products.
They're all on there, and I can't watch most of them because it's like every single time they come on there, you hear some sort of like a fucking pop and snap, crackle, and pop in the background doing some shit. I'm like, is this really happening? Like, what is what Arrow is saying right now?
that fucking sucks. No, that sucks. I mean, just to be yeah. No, I mean, it's like it sucks, especially when you provide for it or pay for a service rather that's supposed to be provided, and then when you don't get the full service of it, that can be a real crap. That's why when I say those primitive caveman things, like I'm gonna fix on going masking up and going on up to FYE with my face covering on and going and buying what the fuck I want to watch so I can bring that back and watch it. Then I don't have to worry about it having shit.
Still don't work for me, Casey. I wish it did.
Wow, wait, what? There you go. I mean, yeah.
But it never fucking works. You got to wait 2 days later. You got to wait for this shit.
Oh, wow.
Man. I wish I for those free on-air antennas at first. And then I was like, it's too much of a hassle changing back and forth to go into HDMI back to channel 2 or whatever the fuck.
That's crazy. Damn.
It's crazy as hell.
It is crazy. Shit.
All right. Well, we're back to the end of this motherfucker once again. Hope you guys had a good time. We'll be back next week.
Hell yeah. We got that new shit coming y'all way. It's all good. We appreciate y'all.
For sure, man. That's what's up, man.
Thank you for coming to hang out.
Much love. Peace.